So in today's world, there are a number of different techniques that you can use or venues that you can use to help you reduce public speaking fear. We're going to go through a few of them and kind of show you the pros and cons of each. So one of the most common in today's world is going to be blog posts, podcasts, videos, especially like YouTube videos. And those are awesome because they're readily available. There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, probably thousands of each one of those types of items that you can acquire information from. So that's kind of the real advantage. Another real advantage of these is that they're private. So you can be safely in your office, kind of developing that public speaking confidence on your own time. So those are the real advantages. The real disadvantage, though, is that you're missing out on a vital part of the confidence building process, which is to actually get up and do it. So basically, you've got to take that information from the videos, from the blogs. You have to go and apply it in the real world and have a success in order for you to gain confidence doing that. And so that can be a little challenging for a lot of people. So one of the things that we've done to fix this is we've created our own online version of the Fearless Presentations class. So the neat thing about that is that you're getting a very succinct and concise series of sessions that will take you through the progression of becoming a better speaker. And that typically works a whole lot better than watching 150 gazillion YouTube videos and being nervous still when you get up there. So typically it works a little bit better. A second technique that people will often use to help them reduce public speaking fear is they'll go ask a peer or a mentor or somebody around the office. And in some situations, this can be very, very helpful. What we find after teaching hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Fearless Presentations classes over the years is that if the person who's coaching you, if the person who's mentoring you has similar strengths to what you have, that's typically a very good route to take. For a lot of us, though, the person that we're getting information from has a little bit different strengths than what I do as a speaker. And that's one of the things that our coaches do in the Fearless Presentations class really effectively is they help you identify your specific strengths as a speaker and help you maximize those strengths while minimizing your weaknesses. And a lot of times you can't really get that without having some professional help. Another thing that's really common in today's world is one-on-one coaching, especially whether that's in person and sometimes it's through Skype or some other internet coaching. The neat thing about this is that can speed up the process of becoming a more comfortable speaker exponentially because you've got one coach, you've got one class member or one student, and that person can really help, that coach anyway, can really help the student gain confidence pretty dramatically. The biggest challenge with this is that most of the time it's fairly expensive because the reason why people like classes a lot better, they tend to work a whole lot better, is because you're spreading out the cost of that coach's time over multiple people, and it makes it way more cost effective for folks. And that's one of the reasons why even though we do a lot of one-on-one coaching with our clients, most often our clients will kind of choose to go to a class versus doing the one-on-one just for cost's sake. So another thing that's really common is to join a toasting club, like a Toastmasters. And by the way, I'm a big fan of Toastmasters. It's a fantastic organization, so I'm not being negative to them at all, but I will give you kind of the advantages and disadvantages. The advantages of a toasting club is that it's fairly inexpensive and you can get practice speaking in front of a group over an extended period of time. And that's really one of the best ways to reduce public speaking fear is to get up and speak more and more often. The more you do something, the better you're going to get at it. So that's where this specific organization really excels. I think the biggest detriment, though, to a Toastmasters or a toasting club is that because there's not really any professional organizer leading the group, it's kind of hit or miss as to whether or not the skills that you're acquiring are going to be very effective. So an analogy that I like to use to explain this is learning golf. It's because it's a very similar type of process. If I want to learn golf, I could go and get 4 or 5 of my buddies together and we can all practice together and we can coach each other. And if my buddies are really good golfers, I'm probably going to increase my golf game pretty dramatically. However, if my buddies are a bunch of hackers, I'm going to get really, really good at a bad golf swing. And that's kind of that's the potential, that's that potential that can happen in a toasting club. It really depends on the group that you're with. So if you are going to join a toasting club, a Toastmasters or something like that, I would encourage you to go to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different chapters and look at the people who've been there the longest. The ones that have been there the longest are going to be the ones that the other people in the group are going to be learning from. And if they are presenting in the way that you want to present, you probably got a pretty good group. If not, you might want to look elsewhere. And finally, what we think anyway is one of the most effective ways to help people reduce public speaking fear is to go to an actual class. The reason why this one has a lot of advantages and very few disadvantages is because you are actually getting up and speaking in front of a group in that public speaking class. That's the only way to help you reduce public speaking fear, is to actually get up and do it. So if you're learning from the online course, or if you're reading a blog post, or if you're doing some one-on-one coaching, yeah, you might be able to get up and practice in front of one person maybe, but you're not going to be able to practice in front of a group. So when you actually get in front of a real group, that nervousness is probably going to still be there. So that's why classes work really, really well. The other thing that's really effective about classes is they're taking that concentrated learning that you get in the one-on-one coaching, and they're breaking the cost down between multiple people. So basically, it's going to reduce the cost of actually acquiring that skill pretty dramatically over doing one-on-one coaching. So we're all big fans of public speaking classes, and there's a good chance that there's a public speaking class, a fearless presentations class coming up somewhere in your area. So below the video, you're going to see a link that will take you to a schedule of classes. Look for one that's coming up in your area and register today. These classes fill up very, very quickly, and once we hit the maximum number of people in a class, we have to close it. So if you don't want to be waiting 2, 3, 4 months to take the class, make sure and register today.